Hello, everyone. So, some of you noticed that I never did a formal Wicked interview. I did really want to, but that particular week was a very heavy interview week, which was wonderful because I got so many great assignments that I'm very grateful for, but it meant that I didn't have enough time to whip up one of these reviews for the review embargo. However, because a few of you noticed, and because I can't really stop talking about the film anyway, I figured, why not just do one now, a little bit late, so that's what you're getting right now. This is my review of the Wicked movie. At this point, it probably goes without saying, I'm sure you can tell, I absolutely loved this film. It exceeded my expectations in really every single way imaginable, and that meant so much to me because Wicked means so much to me. When I first started college, I went through a phase where I was seeing it all the time. Even if I had to go to the theater alone, I was going to see Wicked again and again and again because it functioned as a source of comfort, as a safety blanket for me in this new place. And then also, it was a much needed nudge forward and source of inspiration as someone who was growing up and trying to figure out who she was and who she wanted to be, because that's essentially what Wicked is about. And one of the most beautiful things is that journey of self-discovery in life never really ends, whether you're a teenager, whether you're going to college, or you're at a completely different phase of life. You are always trying to find your voice and figure out how to wield that voice. So the fact that we now have this movie version that moves and inspires me all over again, but in different ways, both via my own personal experience, but also via the film medium, that's really something special. I'll move beyond the personal to dig into that a little deeper because I am a very big believer that this new Wicked movie is a prime example of an ideal adaptation. It is so clearly a movie made by people with maximum love and reverence for the original, but also people who know how to amplify that original via the tools and techniques that screen storytelling affords. I can go on and on listing examples, but just to give you a few here, the use of close-ups in this movie is impeccable. The amount of access a viewer can get to a character's internal world via close-up camera work is just astounding, and I think that's incredibly evident in Wicked via Ariana Grande's performance as Glinda. There's just so many beautiful nuances and subtleties in her performance that the camera is able to capture to so heavily reflect the fact that she is moving through this situation while seeing and considering new ways of operating in this world. And it really did add a beautifully deep layer to that character that I wasn't expecting to be as profound as I found it in the finished film. I also have to take a moment to emphasize how incredibly well edited this film is. This is a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, and it does not feel like it. Wicked absolutely flies, and I know there are many things that contribute to that, but the film's pace and flow are just so impeccable, and that has a whole lot to do with editor Myron Kurtzstein. There's one particular sequence I really wanted to focus on in this department, and it's Defying Gravity. Before seeing the film, if you had pitched me chopping up Defying Gravity like they do, I would have said, no way, do not do it. You're going to wind up ruining one of the very best songs of the whole show. Clearly, I would have been very wrong about that. And again, I know there are many elements that contribute to how successful that sequence is, but in particular, that idea does not work unless Kurtzstein is able to weave from dialogue to song to action as seamlessly as he does so that the viewer can appreciate the song and experience its iconic epic build, but while bolstering it via character building beats that actually give it even more meaning. From there, I'll shift over to some characters, of course beginning with Glinda and Elphaba, because I think the casting of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo in those roles isn't just some of the very best casting of 2024. I think it is some of the very best casting of all time. Obviously, many wildly talented actors have played those characters on stage, and they were phenomenal in the roles, but there's also no denying that what Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel did in the original Broadway run of Wicked was iconic. So iconic, in fact, that I kind of thought their work was untouchable. But then Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo proved me wrong in that respect. I think they do a beautiful job of showing maximum respect for those original performances while seizing every opportunity they had to make these roles uniquely their own, and they do so to such great effect here. And I also don't think it's hyperbolic to say that their chemistry in this movie is truly magical. It is just so abundantly clear that the two of them share something extra special, both as artists and as people. It is incredibly evident in all the interviews that they're doing right now, and I also think it leaps off the screen in the finished film big time. And just such special stuff from the two of them. There's one other character I wanted to make sure to touch on in this review because it is a performance that I don't think is being talked about nearly enough, and it's Peter Dinklage's work as Dr. Dillermand. It is not easy to really make moviegoers believe that a digitally created character is real. Obviously, visual effects are a heavy contributor to pulling that off, and I think the effects here are quite good, but I also do think that it is Dinklage's warmth and poignancy as Dr. Dillermand that really makes that character and his situation cut through big time. I was very impressed by how powerful that aspect of the film was. Back to crafts now, because I am utterly obsessed with how functional these sets are. The dorm room in Popular, the library in Dancing Through Life, those are exquisitely designed locations, and seeing the actors so heavily interact with these sets is key to making them feel so real and lived in. And that right there is what I think was one of Wicked's greatest challenges, making Oz feel real, and I think they did it. Again, that level of functionality in all the locations, the detail in the production design and costume design, and also, I know this isn't the most popular opinion right now, but I, for one, thought the movie was very well photographed. I kind of liked the choice not to oversaturate the film because I thought, one, the visuals did look beautiful, and it also gave the movie a grounded quality that I kind of think it needed. Before wrapping up this review, I did want to touch on a bunch of little things that, I don't know, I just loved and wanted to share with you. Beginning with Ariana Grande's performance. Overall, loved everything, but in particular was very impressed by No One Mourns. That always seems like one of the most difficult songs to nail, and she does, and she brings such great depth and weight to it, which I think that opener really needs. As for Cynthia Erivo, crushes every single song, but I do have to emphasize how wildly impressed I was by Defying Gravity. I never thought I'd love someone else's rendition of that song as much as I love Idina Menzel's, and then she did it. Random little shot that I liked. The shot of Michelle Yeoh walking away with all the flying monkeys behind her. That shot is just utter perfection. Really, I could go on and on listing things about Wicked that I love, and I'm probably going to continue to do so because not only am I very confident in telling you that Wicked will be one of my favorite films of 2024, but I pretty much know with certainty at this point that it is going to be in my top 5, and I'm so happy about it. What a joy to see something you've loved so dearly for so many years be handled with such great care and amplified in ways that you never could have imagined were possible. In fact, that right there gives me all the faith in the world that John M. Chu and the team can well justify splitting this story into 2 movies. I know there's more story to come, but I, for one, found Wicked Part 1 to feel like a very full and satisfying story. And given how much success they found with this new movie, there is just absolutely no reason for me to doubt that they can't deliver as big with Part 2. Cannot wait for more. But for now, I am giving Wicked Part 1 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. I'm so thankful for this movie. I'm so happy it exists. I'm so happy it's so good. And I really can't wait to celebrate it more right here on the channel as we close out 2024, but also well beyond it because, Oh, how happy it makes me to be able to say that this Wicked movie is a very likely Oscar contender in many a category, including Best Picture. Thank you so much for watching this review. Because I can't stop talking about Wicked, drop your own thoughts in the comments section below. I would love to hear what you think as well. I will see you soon with more movie reviews.